when I was in middle school, attending Harby Junior High in Alvin, Texas, for 7th grade. There was a day where we had a substitute teacher, and the substitute left her purse in class during some kind of a break that the class had. It may have been a lunch break. It was the afternoon. We got back to class. She checked her purse, and she realized that she had over $300 missing. She contacted administration, and they ended up contacting campus police, and the police came, started questioning everybody and searching lockers, and they would not let us go to our other classes for the rest of the day. Right up until dismissal, none of us was allowed to leave or go to our other classes. Everything just stopped for the day, and we were sitting in there like we were in school suspension. They never found the money. I broke down crying when they searched my locker because I had been falsely accused many prior times in my life as a child of other things, constantly getting blamed when my cousins would steal from my grandparents and other people or do other things. I was getting blamed for crimes that other people had committed throughout my childhood, and got to the point where it was really traumatic. I associated law enforcement and social services with false accusations and unfounded investigations and harassment and hostile lines of questioning against me as a child. Came to the point that I would get very upset, and I would have anxiety attacks and panic attacks and start crying when I'd have contact with them, because I was always expecting to be falsely accused or expecting to be blamed and punished for something that I hadn't done. And police failed to understand that that's what was happening to me. They didn't recognize that was what was happening to me. So I ended up being very traumatized on that day, as with many prior incidents that I had experienced, where other people had blamed me for very significant things that they had done, and I hadn't done anything at all. I was a very well-behaved child. I was the one that sat there and read books all day and kept to myself, and I was surrounded by delinquents. When I went to public school, these people, these other children, poorly behaved children, children with anger issues and things of that nature, who were in my sphere, would often try to deflect blame on me when they would bully me or be abusive to me. And while attending Harby Junior High, I had a kid that would kick the back of my desk during that same year that this wrongful, unfounded search was conducted. They searched me, they searched my locker, and this kid was kicking the back of my desk, bullying me, and throwing basketballs at my head in gym with his friends. And what was going on was that he had a strong crush on me, and rather than just telling me, hey, like, I'm attracted to you, I'm bisexual, or I'm gay, whatever it happened to be, he was bullying the shit out of me. And it came to the point that my teachers needed to be made aware, and one of them just told me to be quiet. This woman in this English class that I was in. And it escalated to the point that my lip ended up getting busted, and I had to contact the police and have them intervene, the on-campus police, because I was traumatized by it. I didn't want to press charges on them or anything, but at the same time, I wanted the bullying to stop because I've been a victim of violence many times in my life. And it stopped. When I contacted the police, they actually helped in that case, and they got the bullying to stop. But after that incident happened, where I met this kid in the hallway, after a chain of these situations where he had harassed me, we exchanged blows, and a teacher had to get between us. It was after classes had ended. I was taking Spanish class, and we punched each other. And it's been over 20 years now, but ironically, this guy, I ended up having him as a supervisor at my job decades after the fact. And he looked so different, but his behavior was the same. He was still an offensive person to deal with. He was abusive at work. So it was like some stroke of fate. He was still interested in me later on, but it's unrelated to this video. I'll never get over the cumulative trauma of all those incidents that I had to deal with growing up, where I was a subject of violence and exposed to bullying or mistreatment or verbal abuses from people. Now, I avoid contact with people as much as I can because of what happened to me. And the incidents that I experienced, those two at Harby Junior High, were among many incidents that I experienced in school coming up that shaped who I am today, shaped my perception of people. They led to my avoidance of people. I don't like to deal with people now because these things happened. That's why it's so important to put a stop to bullying when you see it happening in school, any kind of mistreatment or bullying of children by other children, or even staff bullying children. There has to be enforced respect at school. People have to respect each other. It can have very deleterious and damaging long-term effects on people's mental health when they're subjected to that as kids.